Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this afternoon's session with myself, Charles de Cray, one of the product managers here at Miro Distribution. We are happy to have you for this proudly sponsored event by GrantStream, which is going to be discussing TP-Link for ISP applications. So, guys, this is going to be applicable primarily to ISPs, but integrators as well, as we will be touching on a few technologies that are applicable across the board. We're very excited to have you on board, and thank you so much for joining. Without any further ado, I'm just going to share my screen, and I'd like to ask that you guys just confirm that you can see it once it's up. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for your feedback. It looks like the screen is sharing and we're ready to get started. So guys, welcome once again to those of you that have just jumped on board. I see we've had a few more attendees join us. Today we're going to be speaking about TP-Link's ultimate ISP solution. Okay, so we're talking about better Wi-Fi, less overheads, and more control within your network. Okay, so as ISPs, obviously we're looking to serve a large client base, various different types of clients, and control and management plays such an important role. Not just with the general management of your network, but troubleshooting. When a problem arises, you need actionable information and analytics that can be used to resolve the issue in the quickest way possible. So in summary, we've got three basic components to today's or this afternoon's presentation that we're going to be focusing on. Firstly, we're going to be looking at TP-Link's Agile ACS solution, which basically refers to their remote management solution for ISPs. Straight after that, we're going to have a quick look at the Deco range, which is TP-Link's whole home Wi-Fi mesh solution, which is definitely picking up in demand. As you guys know, clients are wanting more comprehensive coverage in their homes, and they want it to be a seamless experience. When moving between APs, you need to have that seamless handover and blanket coverage. And last but not least, a buzzword at the moment, Wi-Fi 6. We're going to take a quick glance as to what we have to offer already from the TP-Link portfolio and sort of where that's going to head and where we see Wi-Fi 6 going in the near future. So as mentioned, my name is Charles de Cray. I'm one of the senior product managers here at Miro Distribution, and you'll be with me for this afternoon to run through this session. So firstly, we're going to speak about TP-Link's Agile ACS solution, which is specifically for ISPs. This is applicable to a select hardware set that is only available to our ISP clients. We will not sell this to a retail customer. It's actually from a completely separate division within the TP-Link company, that is their business, their service provider business unit that actually manufactures these units in a separate factory altogether. So it's designed with ISPs applications in mind. Now, to break this down, we're going to take a look at where the sort of the requirement from this for this type of solution sprouts from. So to date, the way things generally work when we're doing a rollout with a variety of different Wi-Fi routers as an ISP is that each device needs to be manually modified or configured before obviously you roll it out to site. And then secondly, you need every operator needs high cost after-sale services to support those products. So if a client is having an issue, typically what's going to happen is you're going to receive a call. Google is broken, and then you need to allocate one of your help desk staff support members, to then step by step walk that client through how to get their router up and running again and get their Wi-Fi working. In a worst case scenario, you're going to have to send out one of your maintenance team members and actually get them out on site to resolve the issue. So as you guys will know, it goes without saying, this is a really costly exercise. And at the end of the day, you want to be moving those resources from back-end maintenance and fixing up problems to actually moving it to the front end of new business development, new installs, and so forth. So basically, TP-Link saw the requirement for the reallocation of these resources, and they wanted to understand how can they better support that. So as a result, they brought forward their solution, which is called Agile Configuration. So the benefit of this is that you can batch configure your units. So basically, we provide you with a free program file for the applicable hardware units, and however many ports you have on a switch is how many units you can batch configure within a matter of seconds. Okay, so you can batch configure the units at your premises, and essentially when you roll it out on site, it then becomes a plug-and-play device. So ISPs have to obviously set up all of their routers before selling them to the end users, which, as we mentioned, is a timely exercise. And on top of that, another issue that you guys will be familiar with is that if an end user resets the device, it defaults to the factory default configuration. So now you guys as operators need to either, like I said, get someone up on your host, get someone to contact the client via your help desk center, or you need to actually send out technicians to go and sort out the problem themselves, which is a costly exercise. So with Agile Configuration, as I mentioned, you can batch configure these routers with however many ports you have available. You can plug in your various routers, and you can configure them at your premises before they're rolled out. So things like your general wireless settings, your SSID, password, security settings, system settings like language, time zone, etc. That can all be pre-configured at your premises. And furthermore, with this Agile Configuration feature, should an end user or client try and reset the router intentionally or unintentionally, the unit will always fail over onto your ISP configuration. And that's because this Agile Configuration solution replaces the default manufacturer setting with your ISP configuration. So you can imagine the time and cost that already saves. We haven't even moved on to the second component of the solution, which is remote management. But this failover feature alone, should you not want to have to deal with remote management, can already save you so much time and money just having that peace of mind that if a client tampers with the router, it's going to fail over onto your settings every single time. So if we use a brief example of one of the first few clients of ours that rolled this solution out, if we compare the number of after-sales services per month and the time cost on customization per 100 units, the after-sales service per month, we're looking at 65 minutes before Agile Configuration. And sorry, that's just the number of calls, not minutes. So it was 65 calls before, and after Agile Configuration, with obviously having that failover, it then became 15 help desk calls per month. Okay, so the time spent per 100 units with regards to after-sales service was reduced from 200 minutes to 40 minutes. Okay, and this is a fair size ISP, so about a medium-sized ISP, let's say about give or take 500 clients out in the field. So really saving them a lot of time and money. But then we move on to the next component. Without remote management, how do you do things such as support new firmware upgrades? How can you help subscribers measure their internet bandwidth quality? How can you help subscribers check for their Wi-Fi issues? And the answer is TP-Link's Agile ACS server. So this is essentially the second component to this entire Agile ACS solution, okay, whereby on top of the failover feature, which is called Agile Configuration, we now have the second component, which is called the Agile ACS server, which is a central single management platform for all end users. So by utilizing something like Agile Configuration, you're able to utilize an end-to-end TR069 solution, okay, whereby you combine the Agile ACS server or remote management server with your Agile CPE. So that's referring to the actual Agile Configuration router that you would use. So there's three different options which we will touch on at the end of this section. So, as you guys will know, TR069 is a buzzword at the moment. Everyone wants remote management if you're running an ISP. Okay, but the problem is there are 100% TR069 routers out there, but generally they are fairly costly. And secondly, you need to get a third-party server host to obviously look at, to host those units. And in that scenario, there's going to be either monthly or annual fee associated with each and every single router that you have out in the field. So it's a proper licensed solution. Whereas what TP-Link are saying here is, you purchase the hardware, we'll give you the program files, and to set up your own locally based server for free. So there's a lot of value in that with regards to the initial investment and your ongoing running costs. So of course, as I mentioned, the idea is that you get full remote management, so visibility of every single one of these units that you have out in the field. The average holding time at your call center will reduce, and furthermore, you can reduce the number of staff that are at your call center as well. If you look at the sort of cost to company per sales staff members, even if you can reduce that by 1 or 2, it definitely justifies looking at a solution like this. And furthermore, what is the main goal at the end of the day? Yes, it's to make your life easier, but ultimately, this is going to improve your customer satisfaction and retention. Okay, so even if they mess around with the router, it was actually technically their fault, but it's going to fail over onto your ISP configuration. If they are having any additional problems, they want you to tweak something, you have that back-end visibility via the Agile ACS remote management solution. So, you're going to get much better satisfaction and retention over the long run. Okay. And then furthermore, this is something that has been proven in the field. So not just overseas, we'll show you a few examples, but it's been done in South Africa already. We've got a number of large ISPs that are completely standardized on the solution, quite simply because they can already see the benefits. And something that's really cool to note is that a lot of people are already using TP-Link out there, and they're familiar with units like the 840N, the Archer C5, the Archer C20. And we actually have Agile configuration equivalents of the same hardware spec, but obviously equipped with the solution at more or less the same price point. So we're not asking you for to spend any more on the initial capital layout. It's quite simply TP-Link saying, look, we want to work with the ISPs, we understand your needs, and that's why we've got a separate ISP business development unit that has created these units for you guys specifically. So just in summary, the reason why you obviously want to roll this out is to reduce your on-site support by performing crucial operations remotely, including changing configuration, turning services on and off, and performing diagnostic tests, and then to facilitate maintenance services such as upgrading devices firmware, updating its configuration, extending the inform interval to relieve the ACS server loading. Something cool to note about the Agile ACS server is that you can actually perform multiple operations at different times. So if you don't want to obviously run a firmware upgrade for your entire network at the same time, and as you can imagine, that makes sense because residential users versus business users will utilize the equipment at different times. So you can segment that and break up your entire client base into different groups, Group A, Group B, Group C. Configure triple PoE account and password for Group A, change the interval, inform interval setting on Group B, and then on Group C, we run a firmware upgrade at a specified time. So, there's a lot of versatility with regards to the number of actions that you can run amongst different groups at different times. So definitely comes in handy. And, on the back end, typically the types of diagnostics you'll get and the functionality you'll get will include things like being able to do a device scan, reboot, reset, push firmware upgrades, and perform diagnostics tests to give your back-end support team the visibility that they need to further refine the performance of those routers and obviously troubleshoot when there is an issue. So like I said, the end goal is to obviously retain our customers and improve their satisfaction. Okay, and this is where, like I said, where this comes in as sort of the key feature here. Obviously it's of benefit to you and I as an ISP to have that back-end functionality. But at the end of the day, you guys know how clients are, how fast word of mouth spreads, etc. If you can get that one extra step above other ISPs that you're competing against by just having a failover feature or that remote management visibility of your routers, you can dramatically improve your customer's experience. As frustrating as it is for you to have to go out and reset a router, that client could very well decide to change to a different ISP as a result of maybe one or two, issues that they've had, even if perhaps it's due to their own fault, with those routers. So, you want to identify issues before the client's even complained. You want to ensure stable running at all times, keeping all the units on the latest firmware upgrades and whatnot, etc. Reduce your OPEX costs and increase efficiency. So, like I said, reallocate those resources that you typically use for back-end maintenance to new business development, new installs, and have that peace of mind that once those routers are installed, you're not going to be going back there every few weeks to have to reset it and assist the clients. And then, of course, fast troubleshooting. If the client does pick up that there's an issue, via the Agile ACS solution, you can jump onto the back end and identify exactly what's going wrong there. So, like I said, much better CSR at the end of the day. And like I said, we've got a number of proven results out in the field. And I mean, this is not just something that we're seeing in South Africa, but on an international basis. So we've got the likes of guys from India, Siberia, Brazil. That's obviously a very dense environment with, and they're growing at a fast rate. So I mean, we've got the likes of these guys that have up to 7,000 plus clients under a single Agile ACS solution. So really a powerful solution that's proven itself in South Africa and it's proven itself overseas as well. So as I mentioned, the Agile configuration refers to 3 specific models that we currently stock. So this hardware unit itself will have that Agile configuration feature built in, meaning that you can batch configure these units and they will fail over to your ISP config if the unit is reset. Okay, so it's applicable to the WR850N, the Archer C20, it's got a slightly different naming convention called the EC120, but explain to our sales guy that you want the Agile configuration equivalent. And then last but not least, the Archer C5. So this is basically to cover each and every type of client that you may want to serve. So your entry-level 300N 2.4 gigahertz unit. I know a lot of you guys will be familiar with the 840N, which is the most popular TP-Link entry-level router on the market at the moment. Then you've got the likes of your Archer C20, which Agile configuration name is EC120-F5. I'll put that in the chat box for you guys, but if you just mention the Agile configuration version of the Archer C20, our guys will know. But this is an AC750 unit with 10100 ports, and then for your slightly higher LSM clients that want gigabit ports, they want faster wireless performance, then definitely the Archer C5 is going to be the way to go because it's an AC1200 unit with gigabit ports across the board. So, like I say, we've got our sort of entry-level, mid-range, and high, sort of top-of-the-range solution. And these are the first initial 3 units that we've got in-house. We've got stock hundreds of each of these on hand at the moment. And in the near future, we're hoping to see TP-Link continue to extend this range. And shortly, we will have mesh units form part of this at the same as well. Obviously, with the growing demand for mesh, as you'll see in my next few slides, it definitely makes sense to have that fall under this Agile ACS solution. So, yeah, guys, if it's something that you're interested in, definitely give us a shout. We'll be happy to give you a quotation on these various units. Like I said, the price point is more or less the same as what you would pay on a non-Agile ACS, but this is only available to ISPs. So if you'd like that, give us a shout. We'll get in touch with you. Basically, the steps forward would be for you to obviously purchase your hardware, whatever is your preferred unit, maybe a mixture of the 3. And we basically send you the program file for the Agile ACS server, which we will help you set up and get up and running. And like I said, that's completely for free. We send you the program file and we will help you get it up and running and obviously get remote management of your entire network and client base. So something very exciting, and we hope that this is something that you guys believe will be of use to you. Then moving on to the next section, just a heads up, guys, before I progress, if you've got any questions, please be sure to pop it into the comment section. I will definitely get back to you at the end of this presentation. We're not going to be too much longer, but just for the purpose of me getting through this in a fast time, please save your questions for the end, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Now, the next section, the TP-Link Deco. This is a very exciting solution. This is obviously TP-Link's whole home mesh solution. And yeah, as I explained, we've got more and more clients out there who are wanting blanket coverage throughout their entire household. Now, implementing something like the Deco is a sort of fail-safe method of ensuring the end user's ultimate experience. As you guys know, sometimes when you leave your clients to be responsible for their own installs and stuff, if they've only got a single router, it's really critical that they know how to strategically place that router and set up, etc. And a lot of the time, ISPs do get complaints about coverage, etc. And this is sort of the solution for that. So, guys, just not to undermine anyone's knowledge here, but just for those of you who may be new to the concept of meshing, I just want to give a quick introduction as to what is meant by mesh. So mesh Wi-Fi networks work by using two or more mesh Wi-Fi devices, or also known as nodes, to create a mesh Wi-Fi network. One node is connected to an internet modem, while the rest can be placed throughout your home to create a powerful wireless network. Unlike traditional routers, these nodes are all part of the same network and share the same SSID and password. This makes setting up and scaling up your mesh network as easy as adding another node. Okay. Important thing to note is that this, obviously, you've got multiple nodes in the equation here, but any one of those nodes can be set up as your main router as well. So if you've already got an existing router at your house, you can connect the TP-Link Deco units, but if not, then no problem, because the Deco is a router as well. So in summary of how a mesh works, like I said, you'll have your internet line coming in, whether that be fiber, fixed broadband, wireless, coming into your house. That will connect to your first node, which will act as your router, and then create a wireless backhaul between itself and the other nodes within that household. So using a portion of that 5 gigahertz frequency to backhaul that data, and then obviously provide a Wi-Fi network using both 5 gigahertz and 2.4. So you can have multiple units. As you'll see on the next page, we've got, you can buy a single unit, you can buy a 2-pack, 3-pack, and they are interoperable, which I'll just touch on now. So just briefly looking at the range that we have to offer, I don't want to hit you guys with a whole data sheet of different specifications and whatnot, but there's a few easy ways to differentiate between these different options if you are not familiar with the naming convention of the TP-Link Deco range. So obviously, these are all whole home Wi-Fi units. They're all available in either 1, 2, or 3-pack options, okay? Now, the first most sort of entry-level option that we have is the Deco E4, which is still an AC1200 whole home mesh unit. And the way in which TP-Link keep the price point down on this unit is it's got 10100 ports. So if you've got a client that doesn't require gigabit ports, then this is definitely the way to go. Remember, you're not that reliant on ports because you're using a mesh solution. So you're expecting to obviously, instead of cabling up, you're going to connect everything wirelessly. And this is what the Deco E4 looks like. The Deco M4 looks identical, exactly the same wireless performance, but it has gigabit LAN ports. So if you do have a client who's now insistent on having gigabit LAN ports, then obviously that is your option. So, you've got a bit of flexibility here. They're exactly the same units. And I did mention that these are the most entry-level options that we have. But something I really admire about TP-Link is that even with the most entry-level option, it still comes jam-packed with all the bells and whistles. So we're talking MIMO, beamforming, band steering, self-healing, all those features to just improve the overall user experience. So it is built for high capacity. It is a slightly more premium solution, but with that being said, it does come in at extremely good price points. And TP-Link have specifically done that to once again accommodate the ISP market. Okay. So as you know, Mirror's forte is not to go and really sell to retail. That's not our thing. We'll leave that to Incredible Connection and whatnot. We want to empower the ISPs and work hand in hand with you guys. And it's for that specific reason that we've brought in these types of solutions. Then the next step up from the Deco M4 is your Deco M5. So basically, this just has slightly better coverage and is an AC1300 unit. So you get improved speed and coverage. And then last but not least, you've got the Deco M9, which also looks the same as the M5, which is an AC2200 unit. So hypothetically speaking, you can push 2.2 gigabits per second collectively via all the bands. But the main differentiator here is that it is a tri-band unit. So it's got two 5 gigahertz frequencies that it uses, and then one 2.4. So it's got a dedicated 5 gigahertz backhaul. So whereas a traditional dual band unit will be using a portion of that 5 gigahertz to obviously serve its concurrent connections as well as backhaul, the Deco M9 will have a dedicated 5 gigahertz backhaul, whereas the other 5 gigahertz and your 2.4 gigahertz will be purely used for serving your clients. But nonetheless, all of these units are high-speed units made for high density and obviously designed to provide blanket coverage. So a comprehensive range with a number of awesome options. So definitely give us a shot if you're interested in finding out more about these. Definitely becoming the go-to if you're on an ISP that's already pushing mesh solutions. I'm sure it's just a matter of time, as you'll see a lot of guys are jumping on board because there is that demand. Now, obviously I've run through the different options. A sort of obvious question that generally pops up is, can all the Deco units work together? The answer is most certainly yes. So if you've got a Deco M4, Deco E4, Deco M5, you can definitely add those all together. Okay. And look, there's not specifically a limit as to how many units you can add, but remember, whatever internet line that client has to work with is the line they have to work with. That's the bottleneck. So if they've got a 10 meg line, it doesn't matter how many Deco units you add. That is the bottleneck there. So you need to ensure that if you're advising a client on adding multiple Deco units, just make sure that they've got the internet line to back that up and support that many devices at the end of the day. Something really nice for your clients is that the unit this solution does come with a very easy to use app. It's called the TP-Link Deco app, and basically this allows for easy setup. It's got some really cool parental controls where you can whitelist and blacklist certain websites. You can set time limitations. When the little ones get home from from school, that it's now time for them to do their homework. So from 5 to 6, there's going to be no internet access for them, and so forth. So it really puts a control in your hands as a parent. You've got device prioritization. So, I mean, if you're running, let's say, a Soho setup, so you've got a small office, home office setup because you're working from home. As you know, that's a large trend at the moment with COVID and everything. You need to make sure that your kid streaming in 4K is not going to impact you having a video conference call with your managing director. So in that sense, you can give your devices priority. And obviously, you've also got your standard QoS functionality as well. You can set up a guest network. So for people visiting your home, you can decide how you want to throttle them. I'm just joking, but you can set different, you can tailor that experience for them to determine what type of speeds and whatnot they'll get and how much data they can download. And the nice thing is that you can control it from anywhere. So as long as your smart device has the app installed on it, either via the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, you will be able to get visibility of your Wi-Fi network from anywhere in the world, which is really exciting. With regards to the Deco Roadmap, we also have some exciting things in the pipeline. There's definitely a lot more than this, but these are just three that sort of stood out for me. We've got the Deco M3, which is basically a combination pack that we're going to be offering very soon. TP-Link are busy bringing these into the country. And you basically have a Deco E4 single unit that then comes with these wall-mountable meshing range extenders, if you will. So obviously they take the same form as a range extender, but remember, rule of thumb, if you're using a range extender, that repeats your wireless signal. So you're actually losing half your throughput. Whereas these units are actually meshing devices. So it's just a very easy way. It comes with a 2-prong plug that you can plug into the wall and create a mesh network in your home. We then also have the likes of the X20 coming on board, which is your Wi-Fi 6 mesh solution. So obviously operating on 802.11ax. We're going to speak about Wi-Fi 6 now, just in the conclusion of this presentation, but basically offering you even faster speeds via a mesh solution. So very, very exciting. And then last but not least, this is still a few months away, but the Deco 5G. So this is a 5G mesh solution. So also very exciting. You'll be able to slot in an LTE or 5G SIM card to get connectivity. So once again, a versatile solution that you can use where maybe there isn't fixed broadband already. Cool, guys, and then just my very last slide in conclusion. I'm not going to go too in depth here, but something I'm very, very excited to announce is that Miro has now got stock of Wi-Fi 6 routers. Okay, so we've got, first of all, the Archer AX6000, which is an absolute animal. The AX6000 referring to its wireless speeds, up to 6 gigabits per second. This is quite a hardcore unit. Obviously, you can see it's got multiple antennas. It's got a 2.5 gigabit WAN port to obviously support those types of speeds. And yeah, definitely a mean machine. If you've got clients that are into gaming or and whatnot, this is definitely the way to go. But obviously, I know that you guys as ISPs, it's not sort of the main client base that you tackle. So we've also brought on board the Archer AX10, which is basically TP-Link's cost-effective Wi-Fi 6 router. So this would be sort of the equivalent of the Archer C5 that we showed you a bit earlier. So a very neat unit. Still got a triple core CPU, 1.5 gigahertz processing power, and can push speeds up to 1.5 gigabits per second wirelessly. So really, guys, our next level, these numbers that I'm giving you are really ridiculous. And I mean, it's so exciting that the next sort of revolution is here. We've got the stock, we're ready to do it. South Africa is transitioning at a very rapid rate into AX, perhaps even faster than we did into AC. I mean, the likes of your latest iPhones, your latest Samsungs and whatnot will come with a Wi-Fi 6 chipset on board. Okay. Furthermore, something important to mention is that we are going to be bringing in a number of different Wi-Fi 6 adapters. We do have a TP-Link Wi-Fi 6 adapter available, and we'll be bringing in a variety of other options as well. So if you do have an older generation device that you'd like to get onto Wi-Fi 6, that's definitely something that you can do. So very exciting, and keep an eye out for the latest Wi-Fi 6, but we do have stock of these two units. So if you are interested, please let us know. Cool, guys. So just before I get to the questions, this was a nice, short, sweet presentation. Hopefully I sparked your interest on all the right things and how we can better support you guys as ISPs that are out there on the front line trying to give the best possible service to your clients. But before I just get to the questions section, we are running a competition where we've got a few prize giveaways. All you need to do is whip out your phone, scan this QR code, and then answer a few very, very easy questions. Okay. Yeah, guys, it's not that simple. We're not just going to give you the prize, but the questions are dead easy. So if you guys watch this presentation, you should easily be able to answer all of those. So yeah, and the prizes, by the way, are a bunch of TP-Link C200 smart cameras, and we've also got an M7650 LTE MiFi device as well. And last but not least, we are also giving away a Deco 3-pack. So very exciting. We've got the Deco, we've got the LTE MiFi device, and we've got 3 C200 smart cameras that we're going to be giving away. Also, something really cool to look at is the TP-Link smart devices, as obviously that goes hand in hand with the Deco solution. Because, I mean, the reason people want better coverage is not just for seamless coverage where they walk, but also to support those additional units, whether it's a smart bulb, whether it's a smart camera, and all that type of stuff as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely have a look at the Miro portfolio. We are bringing in more and more smart devices from TP-Link. We've also got some really cool other brands that will work nicely with this, with the Deco solution, like the Ring solution as well. So cool, guys. I hope you've scanned this QR code and you're answering your questions. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys did enjoy that, and it got you excited about what's coming on board now, likes of full home mesh solutions, Wi-Fi 6, etc. And then of course the Agile ACS solution for ISPs. Really phenomenal and a great opportunity to improve your client's experience. So if you guys can just give me a few seconds, I'm going to quickly run through the questions and try and answer as many as I can. Luckily, we've got quite a bit of time. Okay, so I had a sort of response come through while we were going through the Agile ACS solution. So someone said it would be nice, but the issue is they're not an ISP, and they need to manage a bunch of Wi-Fi access points in a big business environment. Okay, that's perfect. So we've actually got an enterprise solution from TP-Link for exactly that. So if you are an integrator looking to do a Wi-Fi rollout, then you need to take a look at the TP-Link Armada range. Okay, so that's TP-Link's Wi-Fi access points, and they've also got a switching solution that now works on the same management platform. So very cost effective. If I could maybe sort of compare it to something similar, I would say it's got a lot of similarities with the Ubiquity solution, as it's very easy to use, very cost effective. I'm going to just share the link for you, and you can go and see the full range there. A specific unit that I'm a huge fan of that range is called the EAP 225. That is a 80 wave to MU-MIMO unit, which honestly I think is one of the best value for money access points on the market by a long shot. So definitely check that out. And as I mentioned, these access points are now going to be working with the Armada switches that we're bringing in on board as well. So that's a end-to-end enterprise solution. Thank you. Charles gave me a great compliment. Thank you for your time. This has changed our perception on TP-Link. Appreciate the presentation. Thank you, Charles. It's a huge compliment. And I've got to say, I've been managing TP-Link for 3 years now, and definitely my perception has changed, because I think that a few years back, it wasn't quite where it needed to be with regards to its quality and performance. And as a result, they've launched separate business divisions to create stuff that is for ISPs, for business integrators, and so forth. And I mean, to date, they now manufacture every single component that they create in-house, okay, with the exception of one component, and that's their Wi-Fi chipsets. Those are created or sourced from Broadcom or Qualcomm, who, as you guys will know, are the biggest Wi-Fi chipset manufacturers in the world. So there's a good level of quality standardization, and all TP-Link units come with this 2-year warranty across the board. So if you have any trouble, bring it back to Miro. That's what we've got our RMA department for. It's really good quality. Okay, so I see another question here. I thought TP-Link was more of a low budget sort of home Wi-Fi unit. It definitely is. It definitely is. So whether you're looking at the ISP solution, I mean, the WR840N, that price point comes in at about, give or take, 300 Rand, maybe a little bit more, which, I mean, I don't know by what you guys think, but to me, that's really dirt cheap for a good quality 2.4 gigahertz router. With regards to the whole home mesh unit, you got to have a look at the Deco E4 then. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised on the price point of that unit. A lot of clients often come to me and explain that they want to get like a nice TP-Link router and then add on a range extender. And generally, I'll advise against that, because it's actually more cost effective just to go for like a 2-PEC mesh solution. So, so that's what I would generally advise on. So definitely go look at the Deco E4 and maybe do a little budget comparison between, let's say, a nice AC router with a decent range extender and do a like-for-like comparison. And in actual fact, you'll get better performance out of the Deco solution, because, as I mentioned, with the range extender, rule of thumb, it's very nifty, it's great to use, but you lose half your throughput. And of course, we're dependent on clients positioning that correctly, which is not a given. Cool, guys. I see I've got a lot of questions coming through here. Thank you very much. My question now, someone has a question, how they work as Unify. I think that relates to my sort of previous answers. So with TP-Link, you've got what you refer to as the Armada controller. If you just follow the link that I shared there, that will show you the full solution. So that's your enterprise solution that will cover your access points and switches. And then so I think someone asks, is Agile ACS, is it a centralized management solution? The answer is yes. So it's pushed forward as a cloud-based solution, because obviously it provides you with remote management, but you will actually host it locally. So you'll have your own little server. We'll send you the program files. So you'll set it up on site at your premises. So it's fully your solution. You guys run it, that we give you the software for free. That's all it is. And then let's see. Okay, so someone had a question about the Deco. So obviously, I think this was relating to when I was talking about the coverage. I was saying, look, you can advise a client on using as many Deco units as you want, but just bear in mind that the bottleneck is on the internet line that you have. Most certainly, more Deco units means better coverage for sure. So, look at the different options we have, because as you go up the range, between the Deco E4 up to the Deco M9, they do come with slightly stronger antennas. But you just need to make sure you're picking the right solution for the right client. You don't want to give a Deco M9 3-pack to someone who's got maybe like a small 2-bedroom house, for instance. Then in that case you're definitely going to want to go for something like a Deco E4 and so forth. But speak to us if you're not sure. We'll be happy to advise you on what the correct solution is with regards to what's going to give you the best coverage for that particular client. Is there a reason why the TP-Link Deco E4 ACs are very expensive for residential use? So, Wesley, I hope maybe I answered your question earlier. So, look, it's going to be more expensive than a standalone router for sure, because you're getting a fully kitted AC solution with MIMO, beamforming, band steering, as I said, all the bells and whistles. It will come in a bit more expensive than a standard router for a residential application, 100%. But if you're comparing it to a residential router plus a range extender, then it starts to make a lot more sense. So, of course, I'm not going to advise you to use a mesh solution for a client that's got maybe a single bedroom apartment. This is for someone who's maybe got a longer type of premises or maybe a double-story house. But generally, to be honest, the sort of sweet spot that we find with the mesh units is the 2-pack. Based on the general layout of most South African homes, the 2-pack seems to be the way to go. And and like I said, they're interoperable. You can buy a 2-pack now, buy a single pack later. What a lot of guys do on the ISP front is they upsell their clients, as they go. So they'll do an installation of a single Deco 2-pack, and maybe after a few months, it's a client that's got a really big house, and they say, look, I'm just this one end of the house, I would like slightly better coverage. And in that scenario, the ISP will step in and say, okay, no problem, we've got a Deco E4 1-pack that we can just stack on top of that. So that's a very easy way to add on and grow that network. And thank you for your compliments, Wesley, for saying that it was an informative presentation. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm just quickly going through the questions here. Yeah, so Wesley said, yeah, for what the TP-Link APs deliver, it's actually a very inexpensive access point. And I'm 100% on board with that. I know we weren't talking about business or enterprise solutions today, but definitely in all my years at Miro, I've got to say one of the best value for money access points that I've seen is definitely the EAP access points. And if you guys read through the comments, you'll see I even gave you my favorite. So my secret, guys, there should only be 35 or 40 people that know about that. So let's see. Okay, I see there's a few questions coming through. Thank you for all the compliments, everyone. I'm just quickly reading through. I just want to make sure I'm not leaving out any questions. Okay, yeah, so Wesley, once again, thank you very much. So Wesley says he 100% sees the benefit, especially if a client has more than 100 megabits per second fiber package and a multi-story house. Wesley, you've nailed it on the head, okay? At the end of the day, guys, it's not going to make sense to provide a client with a 100 megabit per second line and then go for an entry-level standalone router, okay? They're living in a massive mansion. You can see the problems coming before they've even come in that type of scenario. So you need to advise them, look, you're on a higher package. We're going to advise you on a full whole home mesh solution, because it's going to make more sense with the layout of your type of house, a big 3-story mansion or whatever it may be. And that's sort of the most extreme example. But even for just a slightly longer house, I don't live in a massive house, but it's a 3-bedroom, but it's not massive, but it's quite stretched out. So in that type of scenario, if the router is located on the far end of the house, unfortunately, I can't locate it in the center of my house, then definitely you might want to look at something like a mesh Deco E4 2-pack, for instance. Okay, I see we got just a question for me to reshare the link. We had someone who logged in and out quickly, not a problem. So this is the the Armada EAP solution. So today we spoke about the ISP solution, which is the Agile ACS. I'll just give you guys the name there as a reference. But we also had a little bit of a discussion about small to medium-sized business slash enterprise solution, which is the TP-Link Omada series, of which they've got very cost-effective access points, and they've just introduced their switch range that is also falls within that STN solution, so you can manage your switches as well. So very exciting. Cool, guys. I think I've covered everything. If there's any questions that you guys still have that maybe I missed, please pop it through. We still have a few more minutes. I see someone asked for me to go back to the QR code with pleasure. So if you just jumped on now, we are running a TP-Link competition where we've got some smart cameras, we've got a MiFi device, quite a nice one with a little digital display, and then also some Deco units. So definitely enter this competition. There's some very simple questions. Hopefully one or two of them will give you a bit of a laugh. If you've watched my presentation, I try to keep it not too technical, but more just fun and easy for you guys. So definitely take advantage of that. But yeah, guys, so I'll give it another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll jump off while I'm giving you guys some time to just scan the QR code and enter the competition. But if there's any more questions on, whether it be the TP-Link Agile ACS, the TP-Link Deco units, the whole home Wi-Fi solution, or even Wi-Fi 6, please slot it through in the comments section there, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. But otherwise, for those of you that need to jump off, thank you so much for taking the time. I really hope that this is sort of open your eyes to what TP-Link has to offer, and really the quality and performance that's actually coming from this brand. Like one or two people said, the perception of TP-Link has been significantly changed in recent years, and I'm 100% on board with that, because that is the case. They've put a lot more effort into their research and design. Cool, guys. So we're just going to wrap things up here. I see our key accounts manager, Yaku Kroonevalt, also just reminded me to include the QR code. Yaku, you can only enter once, okay? And you also work at Miro, so you're not allowed to enter. I know Yaku's a big fan of the Deco units himself, and Agile ACS. Being our key accounts manager, he's working with a number of fairly large ISPs, one could say, and they also love the solution. And we'd love to introduce it to more of you guys to help you save costs and improve your client's experience. Excellent. I've got a very nice comment from Frank, and he said he was a little bit skeptical about the mesh units, but Miro arranged a demo kit, and since he's now got 2 happy customers running on the Deco M4s, it's confirmed that it is a good solution. So yeah, guys, definitely a good way to go about it. Test the kit. At the end of the day, we want to have an open conversation. Use the equipment, push it to its limits, and if there's any issues, there's my email address. Let me know. Obviously we've got a fully fledged technical support team as well, so if you want to get them on the line to assist you with anything at any point, please let us know. If there's any sort of quotation requirements that you have, I have included our sales at Miro address there, as well as their telephone number. But for any projects, or if you are an ISP that's wanting to look at the viability of onboarding onto the TP-Link Agile ACS solution, or sorry, onboarding it onto you guys, then pop me a mail. We can definitely discuss it. At the end of the day, Miro sort of stepped into the role as a technology consultant, for you guys. So, we want to show you all the options that are available, give you whatever information we can, and let you guys, feel comfortable enough to make an informed decision on what's the best possible solution for your business. It's not necessarily what's the best solution, it's what's the best solution for you. So we're happy to help you along with that. But cool, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. Unless I see any more questions coming through, I will end the presentation within the next few minutes. But definitely stick around, as Miro ipcon, that is proudly sponsored by GrantStream, is still running till the end of the day for another hour. We've got the Untangle presentation as well as Siklu. So that's happening in the very next session. And then, of course, we've got ipcon day 2 tomorrow, which is going to be your technical training sessions. So we've got the likes of UniView, EdgeCore, Cambium Networks, and Siklu that will all be running through that tomorrow. So definitely take advantage of that. I know there's going to be a lot of live demonstrations. We're going to be including a number of team members from the vendors themselves. So, they're going to be running through the solutions and open to questions from you guys directly. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay, and just a heads up, Megan from marketing here at Miro, who heads up our marketing team, she just shared a SurveyMonkey link. So if you haven't entered the competition or got that QR code yet, or haven't managed to get to work, just click on that link in the comments, please, and that will allow you to answer the questions. So thank you everyone once again, and yeah, we hope to see you soon.